It's wonderful to welcome Sylvie Aulenback to the podcast.
Thank,
She is a
thank.
young, rising musical talent hailing from Halifax, Nova Scotia, if I get that correctly.
Yep, yep.
Wonderful. Good to have you on the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm quite well. What are your plans for Labor Day this upcoming few days?
So, since it's still summer for me, I had no clue that it was a holiday until like a day ago. But we're doing this interview. I'm enjoying the last few days of summer before I have to go back to school. And yeah, there's exciting music stuff happening too.
Wonderful. Yeah. So how's summer's been going for you?
Summer, it's definitely been ups and downs for a little bit. There was kind of nothing going on, and then a lot going on all at once and then not a lot going on again. But I recently just played at a music festival, so that was fun. And it was a little bit difficult because our band only had like 2 weeks to practice all together. So it was a little bit stressful, but we made it work and we just did all covers. There was no original music. So it was nice. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay. And are you doing high school right now or university?
I am in high school. I'm going into grade 11.
Okay. And
Mhm.
how has high school been for you?
So I've always been somebody who really enjoyed school, particularly when I was younger. I don't know. I think I just like most parts about it, but high school is definitely a little more rough, if I'm going to be completely honest. And, I think I don't know if anyone really peaks in high school. It's just something you got to get through. And we're getting through it. I'm still alive, so that's a good thing.
All right, I'm glad to hear. Yeah,
Mhm.
high school wasn't the best for me either, so
Mm-mm.
hope you make it through
And plus, if it's not all great, I do come out with great songs at least. So
it.
that's good.
I see. So, were there any songs in your album, which is called Bittersweet, by the way, that was directly inspired by your high school experience?
Um, hmm, Let me think. There are definitely a few, I would say. Um, I'd say What's Enough, which was the first lead single, definitely goes a little bit with school. What's Enough is kind of about it's kind of about overachieving and wanting to be perfect at everything and being able to do great in everything. And while, yes, What's Enough definitely is not just about school, it is about like music careers and like being the best person I can be. It's also about probably overachieving in school. So I would say What's Enough is probably one of those.
Okay. Yeah. I would say it's remarkable that you put out an album at your age, which is 16, 17.
Yeah, 16. Thank you.
Well, yeah, it's quite early. So, why the decision to pull up such a feat?
So I'm a dreamer and I have big expectations for myself. And um, Olivia Rodrigo is a big inspiration to me. And her debut was very inspiring because it was one of the biggest debuts probably the world has ever seen. Um, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be just like that. And was it that big? No, it wasn't, but I'm still very grateful about it. And I went to my voice teacher about 2 years ago now, and I was like, I want to release an album because she's also a music artist. Her name's Isra Fitch. And she was like, of course I can help you with that, but let's just start with a single because an album is a huge thing. So we did just start with What's Enough, and then House of Mirrors came along, and then after those two, I was like, okay, yes, I do want to still make an album. And I don't know, there's no time like the present. I don't feel like waiting. I just wanted to do it now. So
That's remarkable.
thank you.
Yeah. Tell me more about how Olivia Rodrigo inspired you.
So there was this show that I used to love when I was younger, or a movie actually. I forget exactly what it was called, but it's an American Girl doll movie, and it's about the American Girl doll Grace. And Olivia Rodrigo was the actor for Grace in that movie, and I remember really liking that movie and the character and the actor herself. She really inspired me to want to chase my dreams and stuff. And then in like I feel like it was 2020, maybe 2021 when she had her debut of music, and her music is it's just phenomenal, and it's really good music. And I've just seen what she's done and how she uses her platform and her popularity for good and for better, for good causes and stuff. And I got to go see her on her Guts World Tour, and it was my first concert, like real concert ever, and it was just mind-blowing. Like it's an experience that I'm never going to live down, and I always replay it in my head, and it really made me think about how I wanted to cultivate like that big of a performance one day. So, she really has good stage presence. She's just a
Mhm.
huge inspiration.
Wonderful. Yeah. I've attended a few concerts in my lifetime. The last one I did was Alanis Morissette visit Budapest last month, and I got to see her.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I would love to see Alanis.
yeah, she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have memories of, almost everyone that I visit.
Mm-hmm.
So what were the highlights in the Olivia concert?
So, there's so many. I really liked her dancers because they were very, what's the word? Expressionate or expressive, that's the word. And then also at the end of her concert, Olivia did this thing called a barricade walk. So she came off the stage and then walked past the barricade, and I was at the barricade. And she took a flag from me and a few friends that I met there. It was the Quebec flag because we were in Quebec.
Mhm.
Um, and like she was just so sweet, and she took it and she was literally right in front of my eyes. It was insane. And then another one was, I forget which song it was. I think it might have been Ballad of a Homeschool Girl. But she looked okay. This is so like super fan of me, but she was looking in my eyes for like a whole line. And I just find when artists like give eye contact, it really connects you with the music and makes you feel more. So that was also very, very fun for me.
That's awesome. So were
Hmm.
you in Montreal when that happened?
Yes, I was in Montreal. I think I only went for like 3 or 4 days, but my dad and I went. I actually have a YouTube channel where it's not a music YouTube channel, but it's like vlogs and just random stuff. And I did video us in Quebec, and I went shopping, I had fun. And then the day of the concert, because I wanted to be at the barricade and I was in the pit, which is like general admission, first come, first serve. I wanted to be able to be at the front to be able to see her better, so I went there at like 8 a.m. and the concert didn't start till 8 p.m. So
Wow.
we were there all day, and I met a bunch of other fans and they were really sweet, and I still follow them on Instagram and stuff, like we still connect with each other. So I just think that's a beautiful part of being an artist too, is having a big fan base where everyone can connect with each other.
Mhm. Yeah, that's incredible.
Hmm.
So would you like to still remain in Halifax when say your music career takes off, or would you like to go elsewhere?
I definitely do think that as much as I love Halifax and I really love going downtown, especially. I think I would move somewhere. Probably my first steps would be like Toronto or something like that because it still is in Canada. And I think Toronto is just a better place for the music scene. It's also very difficult for Halifax people and Nova Scotian people to blow up because of certain circumstances, like we have a smaller budget because we're a smaller place, and also because news and like trends and all of that stuff travels from west to east, and we're the East Coast, so we normally hear about things last. And I don't know, it's a little bit more difficult to blow up here, but I think I definitely would move.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, Good way to do so would be to like go to university in Toronto and focus on,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. I have a few friends who are living in there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's very nice.
Mhm. Right. So did you grow up always want to be a musician?
Ever since, for as long as I can remember, I don't know if it was necessarily a musician, but some sort of performer in some sort of way. Like ever since I was little, I did dance and I did cheer and gymnastics and circus, like any sort of performing arts. I've been in like musical theater before, um, but I did move when I was about 8, and so I had to stop dance because the dance studio was too far away. And then when I came to where I am now, I just didn't like the dance studios, but I was introduced to a music studio where they did like musical theater camps. So I joined those camps and I really fell in love more with music. So then I kept working harder and taking more lessons and being more serious about it. And then songwriting sort of just happened because I've I've been songwriting for as long as I can remember. I've been writing anything for as long as I can remember. But it was only like maybe 3-ish years ago when I started getting like actually semi okay at songwriting. And I've just been like, honoring that craft more and more and trying to get better. And it's definitely a way for me to express myself. And music has always been a part of my life, even with dancing, because you need to dance to something. So, yeah, music is definitely something I'm super passionate about.
I see. Yeah. Um, Tell me about the YouTube channel. You mentioned doing the vlogging. So, what are
Mhm.
the common topics that are featured?
So I had one YouTube channel. It's called Viva La Vivi. I still have it. I started when I was probably 7 years old because I just loved YouTube and I loved making videos and it was just something silly I used to always love doing. And then recently I created just a YouTube channel just for music, so it's with all my music videos and stuff. But yeah, Viva La VV was mainly like fashion type of videos, just vlogs of days in my life, just whatever I'm doing that day. Some of them are like baking and stuff. And then the music YouTube channel, like I said, music videos, lyric videos. I also do just some covers here and there. So yeah, I really like making videos, and that's another part of the performing stuff that I like to do has always sort of been like acting, and I feel like in a way sometimes videos can feel like you're acting a little bit. So it's also very fun.
Mhm. So, what are some of the common topics that you write about in your songs?
So it totally depends on how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling. It's for the most part, songwriting is a way for me to just express something that I feel like I it's just bugging me. It's getting at me and I don't know how to like go on with this feeling. So I have to sit down and just write about it. Sometimes I will write a song just to write a song to make something cool. So most of the time, especially on this record on Bittersweet, they were all just teenage girl things. Like little did she know came from me looking back at old videos of myself and feeling this sort of envy and jealousy towards my past self. And it's something like as you grow up, you realize that when you were younger, you were more naive and you just didn't know stuff, and some like you were more ignorant, and ignorance is bliss, they say. So that was definitely a topic. I feel like jealousy was a bunch of stuff that I was feeling as I was growing up. Feeling like how to navigate feeling like I'm being good enough and feel like I'm doing enough is a big part of that record. But then there are a few songs that I have written that are trying to like even with all of the negative parts of life or the scarier parts of life, I'm trying to write songs that are a little more uplifting and a little more like, sure, like there are parts that are sad but there are also parts that are good. So that's what I've been working on a little bit more recently.
Okay. Yeah. Do you see yourself writing about the same topics in in the next few years, or would you be venturing into other topics?
I think that I just go with the flow. um There are definitely points in my life where I'm writing about completely different topics. Like one month I might be writing about Um, for example, you know, in hometown, I might be thinking about my hometown and I'll write about that, but then the next month I'll be like just angry and I'll write something angry, and then the next month I'll be super happy and I'll write about something happy. It's totally like my mood swings are crazy, so it just kind of goes with however I'm feeling. I definitely want to explore more in the future though, writing about things that are super important to me in the sense that like my views in the world and stuff, and trying to make the world a better place. I feel like I want to try and navigate how I would write a song about that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So, how do you see yourself, using your popularity? You mentioned that you like Olivia because she uses her popularity for good.
hmm for me, a big part of something that just angers me a lot is when super rich or super wealthy people take that for granted. And there are so many people who need more help and more money than some people who want to just like buy 15 houses. Like, you don't need that much stuff. And I just think I just would want to be able to, with ticket sales and whatever revenue I make, be able to give back to people who truly need it in the world. And I would also want to be able to be more confident at voicing things that I'm passionate about and people's rights, and, you know, making sure that everyone in my fandom, you could say, feels safe and feels like they have a place where they belong and where they can speak their truth as well.
All right. I hope you're able to do that. That's your
Thank you.
goals.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. I believe I got to know you via Summer Bennett. She's
Mhm.
also a talented musician hailing from Newfoundland. And I believe you're friends with Madeline Salter, also from
Mhm.
Halifax too. Yeah, so tell me about how you come to know both of them.
So I only knew Summer Bennett because Madeline Salter was also from Newfoundland, and
Oh,
I've just followed Summer like through connections of other people on Instagram and stuff. But Madeline Salter, I believe it was 2 years ago almost now that in Halifax at the Carlton, there was this Huff festival happening where there was a youth songwriter circle. My voice teacher sent me like an application to apply to this songwriter circle, and so I applied and I did get in. And Madeline Salter was another one of the performers there. So we just honestly met because we were both applied for the same thing and we both played at the same place. And then ever since then, we just stayed connected. And she did have me open for her release show, which she also had at the Carlton, I think a few months after we had met. And it was really fun, and she's really sweet, and she always tries to make sure that, you know, like if I need anything, I can come to her. And I just think that she's been through a lot in the music world and through life, and she just knows like what it means to be there for someone. So yeah, she's really nice.
yeah, yeah, she's quite sweet too.
hmm
So what do you find to be the biggest challenges facing you right now, either musically or personally?
So musically, I would say it's very difficult to get recognized. Like, there are so many talented artists, especially around Halifax, where people are they're like everybody's posting, everybody's trying to play every gig, and it just can feel like I'm supposed to be rooting on for other people, but it can also feel like a competition, and it can get a little overwhelming on how to navigate like feeling proud of other people without also feeling like jealousy that they might be doing better than you. So I feel like it's a very competitive place to be. And especially around Halifax, I feel like it's just more difficult for people to blow up on social media. I don't know why that is. I think it just might be because we're a smaller like city in the world. So yeah, I definitely find one of the biggest challenges is just getting recognized, especially because everyone is so talented that it's like a little overwhelming to even like pick and choose who should blow up, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there like a network of, say, radio hosts and promoters in Halifax that can help get your music out there?
Um, I definitely reach out to as many like radio stations as possible. And a lot of the time, I don't get replies to the emails, so I'm just like, oh, they just didn't see it. That's fine. But then I hear from like other people, like my uncle or some random girl that my mom works with or something, that they heard my music on the radio, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, well, that's nice. It's working in some way. But Nova Scotia Music Week is a big way to find those promoters and people to help out. Again, I think it's all about at the very beginning, I feel like it might be the most difficult because you really have to get recognized. But once you're recognized, then there are more managers that want to help you because they can see your potential better, you know? So there are a few people for sure.
I see. Yeah. I think that might be the part of why I started the show in the first place,
Hmm.
is to help, younger and more independent artists get a platform to promote their music. So
That's very nice. Yeah.
yeah, so hope what we're doing here helps a little.
Thank you so much.
Okay. What are your plans for the rest of 2025?
So I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's definitely music being made. And I'm just gonna say that the Bittersweet record, the Bittersweet album, it's not quite over yet.
Mhm.
There's more to come, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna
Okay.
say.
Right. So I think in music lingo that often means like a deluxe edition or a bonus disc or something like that. So
Possibly.
okay. Well, I look forward to that too.
Thank
I know
you.
how what's it that pop singer from last year, Charlie XCX, right? She was here in
Oh
Budapest
yeah.
yesterday. She released this one album, right, called Brat, and then she
Mhm.
released like multiple versions of the same album.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing that's your strategy, but
That is
to
something
do.
a lot of artists do
Hmm.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it seems to
Mhm.
work for Charlie XCX. So
Mhm.
um, so I'm guessing your parents, they're quite supportive of your music career.
They're very supportive. They've always been I'm very, 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 very blessed to have my parents because they've always been supportive of anything I've done, even like random little things that are just phases in my life. They're still supportive of it, and they're always my number one fans, and they're always trying to help me in any way that they can, and especially with music. And they see how important it is to me, and I'm very grateful for that because I know a lot of artists' parents were never really super ecstatic about them being musicians because it's such a hard industry to be in. But yeah, they've always been supportive of me, and they're always right there whenever I need them. So I'm very, very grateful.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've talked to many musicians on this show, and yeah, most of them have like really supportive parents. I believe Summer and I'm not sure about Maddie, but Summer's parents are very supportive.
Yeah. Madeline's parents too. I remember at her release
Okay,
show,
good.
um, her mom was there, super excited, cheering her on and like setting up cameras so they could take videos. It was really sweet.
Hmm. So do you see yourself doing a tour at some point?
Ugh, yes, 100%. That is one of my biggest goals ever. I feel like as a musician is to be able to play at many different places. I love traveling and I love seeing the world and I love different cultures and meeting different kinds of people. So I think that'd be so exciting. And any tour that like Madison Beer or Olivia Rodrigo, Tate McRae, all these different people that I really look up to, I see videos of their tours and it just looks like such like a spiritual in a way experience because I feel like everyone's connected and they just make a beautiful tour and everyone's crying, everyone's laughing, everyone's screaming. It's such a beautiful thing and it's a great way for people to get out emotions. So that's definitely something I see myself doing.
Hmm. Yeah. There are plenty of festivals, big and small in Hungary. The biggest one is called Sziget, which means island in the Hungarian language, and it's in the city of Budapest. So,
That's cool.
here's hoping that you make it to the lineup.
That's cool. Thank you. I hope so too.
Okay. So I'd like to conclude with this question. What does music mean to you?
Oh, music, I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like I always have the same answer, but I'll just repeat myself. I music is something that I think most people just kind of need in their lives. Like it always has amazed me how one time I don't remember how old I was, but I learned in school that um even separate cultures before they like met each other, they all had some sort of music in some sort of way. It was all different music, but they all had their own music. And I just think that goes to show that music was meant to be in the world and like all different types of music were meant to be, and it's something for me that I need in order to express my feelings and not let them stay cooped up inside of me. Like if I'm feeling really down, sometimes happy music can make me feel better, and sometimes I just need to be in those sad feelings for a little bit and just let myself feel and listen to the sad music so I can feel them and then I can get through them and then I can go on and feel better later. So, yeah, music is something, and it just brings people together, and it's really magical seeing everybody play music together and dance to music together. So, yeah, it's definitely very important to me.
Yes, yes. Just before we finish, I noticed you have a Gracie Abrams poster
I
in the
do.
background.
I do. I love Gracie. Um, I when I think it was a few years ago I first listened to her music, and I it was quite sad, and at that time in my life like super duper sad music didn't really fit with me. But then recently I listened to her most, or not recently, a few years ago I listened to her most recent album, and it's just phenomenal. And she's a super talented songwriter, and she's so sweet to all of her fans too, and she knows how to connect with them very well. And now I even listen to the super sad stuff, and I really enjoy it. And I think she has a really good vision too for her branding and stuff.
It's wonderful. Yeah. I think she and another pop star, Sabrina Carpenter, right? They were born in the same year and it's the
Really?
same year as me, 1999. So that makes me feel old.
It just makes you a pop star.
Sure. Yeah. One. All right. Yeah, 1999 is a good year for music in general. So,
Hmm.
okay. With that said, thank you very much, Sylvie Aulenback from Halifax, Nova Scotia, for joining the show, and take care of yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.